Because you basically married the first girl you met.
Yeah.
You have leverage.
Truth.
So what I would do now is take a step back,
Okay.
analyze all the apps in that space,
We have.
spend 2 weeks on.
Thanks, babe.
Found one.
Okay, so the initial transaction was made in September of 2018. At the time of this recording, it is late February 2019. We have tried on multiple occasions to get together, but fates have aligned. Gary Vaynerchuk is in Los Angeles. His team reached out to me and they said, Jasmine, we know that you had arranged to go live with Gary. And I said, but what do you want to do? And I took a risk and I said, I would love to meet with Gary for 5 minutes in person. I totally thought that they would say no. But here we are in Culver City, California, and I'm about 10 minutes from meeting Gary Vaynerchuk.
They're still in another interview,
Cool.
so you can just hang out if you
Okay,
want.
cool, thank you.
Sure, you're not going to use it, right? Excited for you, babe. I know you're Don't be. I'm a video guy, so.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, great. Hey, Gary. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Jasmine Starr, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Gary, this is Mar.
Yes.
This is JD.
JD. Good to meet you.
Pleasure.
Likewise. How are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. Give me 5 seconds.
Please take all the time you need. It'll give me a chance to calm my nerves, so it's all good. I'm like, take all the time. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Super well.
Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like very much. We actually met in May of 2017 at the 4Ds event.
We knew the 4Ds would be successful because of the type of people that were coming into it.
My name is Jasmine Starr. I'm from Newport Beach, California, and I'm a photographer and business strategist. And I have to say thank you because that event changed my life.
How so?
You inspired me to start something new in my business. And a couple months later, I launched a brand new product in my business, Social Curator, which is a monthly social media membership. And we provide 30 lifestyle photos, 30 caption templates to help people talk about their business without selling their business, and then an action plan in a community. And within 12 months, we created a 7-figure revenue stream in the business. So we took what we learned, started applying it, and I just have to say thank you, because it's not about the business. Like, you empowered me to be me, so thank you. It's awesome. It's been awesome. So if that's all I get to say to you, like, it's totally worth it. So I know we have a very short amount of time together, so I'm going to talk for maybe 30 seconds, and then I just want you to riff. So we currently have 6,000 members, and we're on trend to reach 10,000 by the end of 2018. And so we have a community, and I asked the community, hey, what would you guys like to see next? And the thing that we heard the most is that people want a social curator app, because I can see that they want to remove the friction from taking the resources that we provide for them and pushing it to their social platforms. And then things got a little bit tricky, because when I started asking what features do you find the most valuable in an app if we were to create one, the number one thing was we want to organize, plan, and schedule our posts, but we want to use these resources. And I think to myself, okay. The tricky part then became, if I were to create an app that serviced their primary demands or requests, it would put me squarely in the organizational planning app space, which is a totally different business model than what I currently have. So my question to you is, if you were me, would you create the app? Because our goal is to move the needle. Do you think that perhaps like a half-baked app just to do the very basics would move the needle? Or would you like triple down on the investment, that the time and the cost to create an app that's a slightly different business model than what we currently have and puts us squarely in a different type of app space?
My first read is I'd probably consider to quadruple down on what's already working
Okay.
and go from 6,000 to 60,000.
Yes.
And use that leverage of even 6,000 to probably JV with an organizing app that creates some sort of relationship.
Yep.
I think that people need to be thoughtful about what they're good at, and then be even more thoughtful about what doesn't come as natural or what they may not be as interested in.
So I hear put the app on hold and focus on like
I would
lead
say
acquisition.
based on that, I would say consider finding an app partner that already does what you're thinking about building and say to them, you call up Charlie and say, hey, Charlie, I have 6,000 people paying me.
Yeah.
And they want this. I don't necessarily want to do it. How's your business going?
Okay, can I leverage that? So I went to one company and we got to negotiations. We got almost to signing the contract, and then they realized that they didn't want to open their API, even though we had already started to create our own. And what we wanted to do is just say, hey, how can we synergize? And like,
Well, first of all, even if they did want to open your API, you're probably lucky that happened because you basically married the first girl you met.
yeah,
You have leverage.
truth.
So what I would do now is take a step back,
Okay,
analyze all the apps in that space,
we have.
spend 2 weeks on Googling, find out the partners.
I have.
Randomly
I DM'd them. They wanted to have conversations.
the space.
I'm sorry?
The whole, like multiple apps in the space or one specific one?
So we reached out to one, the first one that I thought the community responded the best to, and I said, oh, it's synergistically, I think that this would pair up.
Right.
But that was like the first guy that I wanted to marry. But okay. So then once I realized that they weren't like as excited about the relationship as I was like, okay. So I reached out to 6 other apps within this space, and they all said that they were open to conversations. But now it just took me to take a step back, and it's just like, okay, I need to actually know what I want. And
Well, you'll appreciate this. I think back to kissing more than one boy,
Mm-hmm.
if we're playing the analogy out, I think you should go take those 6 meetings.
okay. Would you do them in person?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if they're in Kansas City and you're like, is this like,
Yeah.
you may want to face, you don't know, I'm not against the FaceTime or a phone call.
Right.
I think the first call for efficiency purposes can be a call.
Okay.
But if you're feeling it, I always think if you're going to go into a partnership, you want to
Yeah.
go in eyes wide open.
And specifically because when we got into the numbers, we understood that like our value proposition perhaps isn't as pretty as theirs because they have all the numbers. But what I think that we have is like the partnership that the people that we had reached out to had tried to do what Social Curator does. They actually tried putting out like stock images to see how their users would respond to them, and it completely fell flat. So we know that what we're doing is something special because people are telling their friends and their friends are telling their friends. And so I just think that there is a gap in this space because we don't want to get into the organizational planning space.
How's your business structured? What does it cost?
It costs $30 a month. For $1 a day, you get a caption prompt and a photo if you have nothing else to post that day. And so people log in, and we have a mobile-friendly platform. So they would log in, they could download a photo, download a caption prompt, fill in the gaps, talk a little bit more about their business, and post.
It's funny. We literally almost built this app 3 years ago.
I'm so glad you did it. I'm so glad you did it.
There's so much abundance. There could be 7.
Absolutely, but I'm hoping that Vayner buys my business one day.
want? That's great. Good for you. I think you have the leverage.
Okay.
I think you're less of a commodity than they are. More importantly, like there's a million. You don't know what's out there. Do you know how many apps? I'll give you one. I would look at the bottom 50 apps in the space. I'll tell you why. They might have 30. You know how many app guys and girls are out there that make 600 apps, and this is one of them that they made,
Yeah.
and they actually built a really good product, but they're focused on the one that popped.
Yeah.
And you can like swoop up and take the technology for $5,000.
Yeah.
You have to explore.
I love this. I think you're saying everything that we kind of toyed with, but hearing it from you and just like having a good
Yeah,
clear.
affirmation,
Yeah.
sometimes matters, especially when it's affirmation from a source that helped you get like.
Basically, yeah, totally. And I also heard rumors of there being version 2.0 of the 4Ds.
Yeah, we're definitely the Sasha Group. This new company we started is absolutely trying to understand. Do you know how it feels to hear that you went to 4Ds, spent $10,000, and built a 7-figure business? Like,
In 12 months.
yeah, it feels remarkable. And so, as you can imagine, we're trying to figure out how to scale that to when this happens.
Yeah.
What's the $100,000 version? And so we're thinking about it. Yeah, we're definitely, you should definitely go to thesashagroup.com and fill out the form.
Okay.
Just to get into conversation with one of our people.
Okay.
Because we're obsessed with, I like getting the short end of the stick. A lot of my friends make fun of me. They're like, why do you have a business it's not smart? Like you're getting, like you're giving away the milk for free. You know, that whole analogy. And I'm like, because it makes me happy.
Yep.
I don't know. It makes me happy. A ton of my content is 99% of my content is free. So I'm super happy to hear that.
thank you. Well, I keep on like DMing Nick. I'm like, hey, I want to be the first. Like, let me in. Like, don't. Yeah.
You know, I will say, are you spending media dollars?
I am.
There's a new product we're definitely going to scale in Sasha. It's called a media whiteboard. It's like a 1-day session. I don't recall. I overheard them talking about it. I think it's $15,000 to $25,000. But they like literally people from the VaynerMedia team that spends $500 million in media sit down and audit what you're doing and then give you a plan. And so at your level right now, because it's so new, you may not be spending. Like there's people who are spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on media.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine,
Right.
spending 25 to spend your 350 way better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think for myself what I think the minimum, like if you spend 100,000, is it worth it?
Right.
There's definitely a delta there, so that's a new product Sasha's definitely doing, which could be cool. I think you should look at the bottom 50 apps.
I will. I went just to the top 10.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling. Think about it, right?
And you're saying to acquire?
You might be able to.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, it's
Yeah.
you look at top 10, right? They have leverage because they're top 10 for a reason.
Right.
You go to number 83. Number 83 might be a better app than top 10. The person's
They just don't
not
want to
working.
be, yeah. Oh my God. I love that idea.
Thank you.
I love that. Listen, I know we have a short amount of time, but I couldn't leave without letting you know that you did an Instagram Live. You just popped up your phone. It was D-Rock, it was Tyler, and you guys were talking about how you guys were going to launch Clouds and Dirt. And I was watching this riveted. I couldn't put my phone down. I was like, how is Gary letting me in this business meeting? And there you guys were like talking about like, how can we promote it?
I remember it very
And
well.
then, okay.
I remember thinking that was really cool.
It was, I was sitting at home in sweatpants being like, oh my God, I'm in a meeting with Gary. And then I DM'd Tyler a few days later. I said, when are you guys dropping that? Because I want to invest. And so I bought the 35 pairs of shoes and I ended up donating them to an organization here that teaches young men how to be entrepreneurs in Los Angeles. And it was like thank you, because it was a full circle moment. My father is an immigrant, worked 3 jobs, came to America, man alive. The first thing he ever bought his kids was a pair of K-Swiss shoes.
Get the fuck.
I know. And so I remember wearing these like brand new white shoes, thinking like, I'm American, this is how I roll, like I've made the life. And I just think to myself, man, there's a group of 35 young men in LA who have the same feeling. So
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'm really glad we had this time.
So am I. Thank you. Like, it's so very, very, very generous. Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Gary. We'll see you in New York soon.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Seriously.
nice meeting you. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
making it so warm. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for this. Thank you.
Here. Gary, can I get a photo too?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Who's?
I know you've been making it. Thank you. Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. He's right there. He's still right there. Like my heart is bursting out of my chest. Not because I'm nervous, but because I'm so excited. I'm so thankful. He's like, give me 5 seconds. I was like, take 10. I was like, calm. I brought it all in. We had a great conversation. And it's like, he's nicer in person than you could ever imagine. And I always thought he was a great guy online. And when you meet him, he's super grounding, gave great advice, scared me straight, because I know I'm destined to do big things based on the advice. So watch me implement, watch me do, watch us shake things up. I'm so excited.